Okay, back with another Portable Clint. Guys, I have my next guest and friend is a real standout here in Hollywood. I mean, she stands out wherever she goes. Ladies and gentlemen, Kimmy Robertson. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Kimmy, thank you so much for doing this.
Oh, my pleasure.
Kimmy, I've known you forever. I don't know when or where we met. Did we work? Do you have any idea how anything? I don't remember.
It seems like there was a sitcom at some point that we were both guesting on, or a commercial.
I think you're right. It's either one of those two things.
And I have no idea. I don't even remember a lot of the stuff I did in the 80s. Anyway.
Okay.
And that wasn't from drugs. It was just...
Kimmy, let me tell you something. There's an old saying in Hollywood. I would pay to watch you read a phone book. You fall into that category. I watched you a couple of weeks ago. Eric Edelstein had a birthday party for, who was the gentleman's name?
Don Murray.
Don Murray. Awesome. Wow. I'm so glad that Eric brought that gentleman to our attention. Even though he's been on a lot of people's radar, but people like me, I didn't really know how great of a man he was.
Yeah.
But anyway, Eric had a great show, and you sang.
I did, and tap dance.
And tap dance. Let me tell you something. I'm bringing that performance up for a reason. You know how to steal every second when you're on stage. You realize that?
You know what that's called, right? Clint?
Let me hear it. What is that called?
Called being a ham hock.
Well, ham hock is fantastic. I love ham hocks. I love them. But seriously, every little bitty detail, you know what you're doing, right?
I don't. I like to perform, and I don't, honestly, I'm fixing my pigtails. I don't think about it before, because if I did, I wouldn't do it. But like, for instance, that particular performance, I was laying on the floor in the dressing room talking to Don Murray's son, and he said, "Kimmy, I'm pretty sure I just heard him call your name." So I got up and I went out, and obviously I knew I was going to sing a song and do a dance, but the rest you just relax, and if you're a real ham hock and you just let it come out, all the ham, salad.
Yes. I'm not saying this is a bad thing, knowing everything that you're doing, but you are just really great at it. You're fantastic at it.
You.
And I'm not kidding you. All eyes are always on you. So just know that.
Thank you. That's really nice of you to say.
Okay, Kimmy, first of all, I like to go back to when you thought about becoming an actress. Okay, so I'm going to ask that question, but I'm also going to say your first film that you did,
Last American Virgin.
When I was growing up, there's a handful of films that stuck out to me. That was one of them. I loved that movie for some reason.
The music probably.
The music was great. The music was great, but
happy.
I think it was also just kind of like the first of those 80s films that kind of started kicking everything off, because I think after that came Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yeah, we were shooting at the same time.
Really?
Same extras. We'd go from one set to the other.
Are you serious?
Serious.
Where did you shoot that?
All around LA. There used to be a chicken restaurant on Beverly, right near the free clinic. We shot there a lot. We shot in the valley at the high school where you shoot all that stuff.
Okay, all right.
And that was it. Yes, all over.
Okay, Kimmy, let's go back in time. When did you start thinking about wanting to become an actress?
The minute I walked onto the set and delivered my first line in Last American Virgin.
That was the very first time you thought about that?
That was the first time.
Well, let me tell you something. I watched a couple of clips of you. You were on, I don't know if you know this, but you were on Johnny Carson. Do you realize that?
I was.
I mean, that's a Paramount show, man. I'm not a Paramount studio show, but a Paramount, that was gigantic. And you were on it.
I was, because that was a wish I had.
Okay, that's what I want to talk to you about. When you were a kid, you wanted to have your own talk show, or you wanted to be Johnny Carson?
I did.
And you interviewed...
I interviewed my next door neighbor.
With the runny nose.
Ricky Burwell.
That Johnny Carson kept having on his mind once you mentioned that. I don't know if you know this, but Johnny Carson's show is on Sirius XM.
Yes, I was listening to it in the car. on the way
Isn't
here.
that the best channel right now?
So I smiled the entire way here.
Me too. Ed McMahon is just so funny. I love that. He's the butt of all jokes.
Classic, absolutely nothing like it. Now it's all, Johnny Carson had to do what he had to do to stay on the air, meaning he had to follow some rules. But he really didn't follow very many. And now all the people who have these talk shows, they're like corporate people. They've turned from comedy into corporate.
Yes.
So where's the meat, the heart? Where's the balls?
Yeah.
Where's the balls?
Okay. He asked you, something happened, and I cannot believe we're going to Johnny Carson. I wasn't going to talk about Johnny Carson, but I got to ask you a question.
But it is on my mind because I just found the station a couple days ago.
Me too.
And
Me
been
too.
listening to it and remembering having flashbacks because I went there twice. I was bumped the first
That's what I
time.
want to hear about.
Okay.
That's
so,
exactly what I want to hear about. So please, I continue. Sorry to interrupt.
No, I got all ready and it was a really big deal. I had a publicist at the time who wanted me to dress more normally. So we went all over looking for clothes, normal clothes. So I got all dressed up and the limousine came to pick me up. That's what they did back then.
Sure.
And I went there and I was waiting and I've been trying to remember who I was bumped for, but it was a person that...
I know Guido Sarducci was the second reason why you got bumped.
Oh, okay.
Father Guido Sarducci.
Oh, I loved him. Anyway, so I was waiting in the green room for a long time, and then it was obvious that I was going to be bumped. But I had been told to halfway expect that, so it wasn't personal. I didn't feel personally attacked or sad or anything.
Sure.
And I was a dancer, so to me, this is all gravy. Every second is gravy. Being bumped from Johnny Carson was gravy. And then, at the end of his show, he came directly into the green room and said, Kimmy, 3 times. I'm so sorry. And he made this big apology and he said all this really nice stuff to me, compliments. And I was like, it's no problem, really. I'm fine. Look, I got to get all dressed up, ride in a limousine, and it didn't have hair in it.
What do you mean it didn't have hair in it? What does that mean?
When I did David Letterman, they came to pick me up in the same limousine that a stupid pet, I don't know why they call them stupid pet tricks. Because
Okay, yes.
Pets are
Yeah,
way
exactly.
smarter than people.
Yes.
Stupid people with pets.
There you go, tricks.
Tricks. So the limousine had some dog hair in it.
Okay.
And, anyway.
Okay.
It was relevant at the time.
Right. Okay, so you give
He
bumped.
promised to have me back on.
Okay, so you went back a second time.
He asked me if I would mind coming back.
Of course, you said, I don't know about that, right?
I'm kind of busy.
Yeah.
I gotta get my teeth
How
cleaned.
far after?
I don't remember.
Okay,
It might
so-
have been a month, 2 months.
So you go back a second time, and are you going there because you're promoting Twin Peaks, or what? Was there something else that you were promoting at this time?
Both Letterman, well, I was on Twin Peaks, but both of them requested me. David Letterman and Johnny Carson saw me on TV and asked for me to come on. They have a rule that you have to be promoting something,
Right.
so they did mention Twin Peaks, but it was both he and Johnny Carson explained to me that this was a personal request.
That's awesome. How
Was-
big is that? How big of a compliment is that?
It was a wish of mine. Both were wishes of mine, and I just went, thank you. Thank you. I mean, God. And the thing is, Clint, is it only matters to me. It's not something I talk about. I mean, this is really the first time I've talked about this to anybody.
Wow, I'm honored.
People don't want to talk about it, and people don't remember, and if they do, they get jealous. Which to me is really weird because that means if my wishes came true, then your wishes will come true.
Amen, sister. Amen.
And that's why you should talk about that stuff.
Well, that's the thing about Hollywood. People never go, "Hey, how are you?" They want to say, "Hey, let me tell you how I am." And but I love Hollywood so much. I love everyone's story. Like, I never talk about myself. When I'm on a set, I'm always asking the people, "Dude, what's going on? What are you filming next?"
Yeah,
I mean,
you know what you're doing. You know what's
exactly.
up with you want to find out what's going on.
But it is amazing how people don't want to hear other people's dreams.
It is. It is.
But that's the reason why you stand out. I don't want to overuse this cliche, but you are a bright light in this dark city. You know that?
That's really nice of you to say, because I've been working on my photons.
Well, your photons are at full brightness right now.
I don't think so, because then I could probably walk on water. You know,
Well,
they say full enlightenment means your photons are up to like 500.
Have you tried lately to walk on water?
No.
See? Okay.
I was doing a play, so I didn't get the chance to do that this summer.
The picture on the play, when did you take that picture?
I took that picture.
That's an iconic picture. I say iconic. To me, I don't know, that just embodies you. That is
Jumping.
you.
Jumping in the air and looking crabby. I
You
think
don't
it
need
was like 2 years ago, a
Okay.
year and a half ago, when my hair was blue.
Okay, Kimmy, when did you said as soon as you walk on the set of Last American Virgin is when you wanted to be an actress.
Yes.
There had to be some other time where you had to get a headshot, you had to get an agent.
Oh,
I
boy.
want to know about that.
Okay, so I was a dancer.
Okay.
And
Where?
In San Diego Ballet, I danced up.
Do you know Carrie Scott?
No.
Okay, he's from San Diego. I thought it was a small city, so I thought you knew
It is.
everyone.
You do.
Okay.
But I might have missed that
Yeah,
ring.
exactly. Okay.
I left San Diego when I started to re-date the first person I dated.
Is that where you're from?
No, I'm from LA.
Okay.
Downey, to be specific.
Really?
hmm
Okay. So you go to so why are you in San Diego dancing?
I went to college there to get a degree in ballet. Because
Okay.
I had to go to college. And,
Okay. Because that's what your parents told you, right?
Yeah, and anybody who was, I mean, to me it was just like you just to do that.
You're right.
That's
You're
what
right. You were
do.
supposed to do right. Right.
And I was young. I went to college when I was 17, so it was okay. And so I was there, and I auditioned. I didn't audition. They kind of put me in San Diego Ballet.
Okay.
So I did that for a while, and I came back to LA because honestly, in the middle of Swan Lake, and I was doing signets, and they tell you where to look, where your eyelashes go, where your hair
Wow.
follicles should point.
Wow.
And I was like, I'm not feeling that creative spark that I want.
Yeah, I can see
I
that.
came back to LA, and then so one thing led to another. I went to New York to see the Diaghilev Festival with Rudolph Nureyev and Devo. And so I met Devo. I ended up being a girlfriend.
And you just took a
of
picture
one
with
of them
Mark
Yeah.
Mothersbaugh recently.
at their rehearsal. So I ended up touring with them all over Europe and the United States, and then I got this job in American Folk Ballet, which was
Okay.
not just ballet. It was tap, clogging, all this stuff. It was like the history of the United States
Sure.
settling with people from other countries and what their dances turned into. It was a story, so it was
Okay.
fun.
All right. Okay.
So they said, we're going to Israel, and I went, I'm not going. I'm not traveling anymore for a while. And so I had been dancing with them about 3 months. So they left, and they made me work in their office, answering phones. I was the main receptionist
Okay.
in this big office on Ventura Boulevard. And it turns out that was a bunch of entertainment people.
Ventura
lawyers,
and what?
agents.
Ventura and what? Do you remember?
It's right by that grocery store, Ralph's. It's pretty far out there, past Woodman.
Okay. Oh, the one you're talking about, the one at
Between
Ventura and
Woodman
Woodman. Yes.
Yeah, between Woodman and Van Nuys
Yeah,
Boulevard.
I know that Ralph's very
Before,
well.
right
Yes.
before the Cadillac dealership.
Yep. I don't think that Cadillac dealership's there anymore.
Not.
They just tore it down recently.
That was a shame.
It
That
was a shame.
Iconic.
I know it.
But that's why you got to get rid of it, because if you move here from another state and you see a big donut or a giant Santa Claus or a really bitchin' 50s modern Cadillac dealership, you gotta rip it down.
Yeah, you have to.
Because it doesn't look
Exactly.
the same as everything else.
Exactly.
Not beige.
Right. You're absolutely right.
So yeah, so that's where the building was. So this lady kept laughing. I kept hearing laughing when I was at work because I kept hanging up on people. I didn't know how to work the phone thing. And whatever it was I was saying, she was laughing. And she said, you got to get a picture. She made me get a headshot. She made me tell her every play I'd ever seen. And she wrote those as a resume.
That's awesome.
And one day she said, come into my office at the end of work. She kept saying, you have to be an actor. And I kept saying, I don't want to be an actor. I hate actors. Why? Because they always wear patchouli oil, black nail polish, and they talk in a Cockney accent.
That is true. That is true.
She said, no, they don't. And I said, everyone I went to college with did. Okay, so she sits me down at her desk and she has a stack of manila envelopes and she said, now, is there anybody in this town that you're related to in the business? No. Anyone that you know at all? No. Anyone that owes you a favor? Yes, there's a man named John Thompson, and I helped him with some Devo videos, Girl You Want and Whip It. That's a long story, but I helped him and he told me he owed me a favor. So she picked up the top envelope and it said John Thompson.
Okay.
So obviously that was meant to be.
Sure, yeah.
So
Wow.
I get to this audition and he meets me at the door and says, Kimmy, this is your favor. You coming to the building. That's your favor. We're even now. And
Wow.
he said, the rest is up to you. And I, what am I supposed to do? And he said, just go in there and talk to the director and he'll tell you. So I went in and talked and he was laughing at me. Again, no idea why everybody's laughing at crap that I'm saying. And he said, I'm putting you in my next movie. Oh, what is it? I don't know, but you're in it. So then it's Last American Virgin, and he has me come to the set every day just to listen to me talk. And he writes this, he wrote a lot of my dialogue was junk I was saying. Stuff that spilled out of my mouth. But so my first day of work, I hadn't acted or anything, and I had a line, and they said, Kimmy, just run out, hit your mark, and say your line. And I said, oh, I wonder what a mark is. And I ran out, and there was a mark on the floor, and I said to myself, I bet that's it. So, because I had no idea how anything worked at all.
Sure.
And they were using stand-ins, so I wasn't standing there before.
Right.
So the first time I act, it's on film, and I loved the feeling. It was what I was looking for.
Really?
Freedom.
Yeah,
Felt
yeah.
free. Then later in life, I started doing things like sitcoms and other stuff that felt horrible, where you're just reading other people's lines and they don't fit. I'm not good at that.
Yeah, I hear you.
Although
on
I
that.
am good at Shakespeare.
Really?
Swear, it's a weird phenomenon.
How is one good at Shakespeare? Just saying those lines the way it's spoken? Like, what does that mean?
I took a class, and it was finally my turn to do a thing, and I did it, and I was going, oh, this is fun. And it was like a ride. You didn't know what was coming next. And at the end of the classes, the guy who was teaching the class said, you surprised me. And I said, no shit. That was really fun. And he said, but you're good at it. You need to go do Shakespeare. And I haven't, but I would like to.
Well, Kimmy, I kind of want you to go do Shakespeare somewhere, just one time at least.
I want to do it too.
Kimmy, I got to point something out. I like small details, okay? And I appreciate something you're doing. Can I show you your hand? Look at this. She has her fingernail polish matches her ring perfectly. Look at look at this. Look at that. Okay, that's beautiful. Okay.
You want to see this ring?
Yeah.
It's a love ring. See, it says
Look,
love.
it sure does.
You want to hear that story? Do you
Please,
have a minute?
please, I sure do.
So I was meditating this one year every morning. And
Did you learn meditation from your old director?
I did.
Okay.
Super fun, super easy. I highly recommend it.
That's what Eric Edelstein, he learned it from him.
It's it also makes your brain, lets your brain. It's all about your brain and your body. It
Sure.
has nothing to do with when it's transcendental meditation. I used to think it meant you transcendent. No, it means transcending down into your body, and it helps to open up the different lobes of your brain, and that helps your brain to heal your body.
Okay.
So
all right.
that's sort of my description of TM.
Okay.
So I'm sitting there these days, mornings. I'm watching Kelly Ripa. For a year, I did this to see how people act, normal people
Sure.
interact, because I missed Sandbox. So I was absent. No, there's different things. People
No, I hear
agree
you.
that this means this
Yeah,
and
yeah,
this means
yeah.
that, and you're
Right.
never supposed to say that.
Right.
Not ever supposed to look there. I missed all that.
Well, but thank God you did, because that's why you stand out.
Well,
Go ahead,
it
though.
offends some people.
Well, good. Let it offend those people.
Sorry, neighbors. Anyway, so I'm watching Kelly, and I turn the sound down, and I close my eyes, and all of a sudden this quantum science stuff starts coming into my head, and all this information, revelations I like to call it. So that went on for a few weeks, and then one day I was driving to an audition. I was right down the street at the Arco station getting gas, Chevron, excuse me, and I was saying, okay, thanks for all this information. I'm not sure who it is I'm talking to. I call it God,
Sure.
but it could be dust, it could be parts of your brain, it could be Elvis. I
Sure.
don't know who.
I like to believe it's God, but go ahead.
Okay, so I just don't want to offend anybody.
Sure, yeah, I hear you.
If you don't believe in God, yes,
I'm not-
then it's
yeah.
part of.
Sure.
It's a function of the brain that we are not quite exactly getting. So I do believe that faith is a switch. You turn it on, whether you believe it or not. You fake it, and that's what allows wishes to come true.
Faith does activate.
That's what I say.
Yeah, yeah,
Faith activates.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like a rule.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm pumping gas. I'm sitting there going, okay, so thanks for all this information, but how did you get that into my brain? There's no cord attached anywhere. I didn't see any light beam. How did you get that information into my brain? And I hear look down, and I'm like arguing with God. I'm asking you a really important question, and you're telling me to look
Sure,
down. I want to know, clarifying
sure,
to God,
sure.
I want to know what the information traveled on. Is it beams of some sort? Is it a thread that we don't see? Is it, what does it, look down? Okay, I will look down if you promise to tell me how the information travels. What does it travel on in the air from way up in the sky where all that information sits?
Sure.
What does it travel on to get into my brain? And I hear, look down. So I look down, I go, okay. Between my feet is this ring.
Wow.
Love. Travels on love.
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome.
I
Have
had
you
a
won-
million of those kinds of stories.
That's
but
great.
I've had this ring repaired and everything.
Really?
Because I don't ever take it off.
What year was this?
That was, I'd say, 6 years ago.
Okay,
6 years ago.
I gotta ask you an important question.
Okay.
You were on Andy Kaufman's special.
Mhm.
Tell me about that, please. Andy Kaufman is one of my favorites.
Mine too.
So please let me hear, give me any type of details you can give me on that, please. Anything behind the scenes I would appreciate.
Okay, so I have no memory of how I got that job.
Really?
Really, it was some sort of audition, I believe. I'm pretty sure I was just asked to do it. I rarely audition, Clint, and when I do, I don't get them.
Sure.
Yeah. It's like people, if they think of something specific and they go, oh, yeah, that's Kimmy, call Kimmy.
Right.
So I'm there, and what was really cool is during the rehearsals, he came, like, we were on the stage, we rehearsed on the stage, and he got down in front of the stage and was directing us, but he seemed dead serious. So I was like, is he really directing us, or is this a joke?
See, I would love this confusion from him. I would love all of this.
The feeling that makes in your body is, again, like a ride. And so then he would come backstage and talk to us, and he talked to me a lot and thanked me for doing the show, and I assumed he was making fun of me. Like,
Why? Why do you assume he was making fun of you for
because
that?
I was insecure, but he would say, aren't you coming to get cookies and milk with us? And I was like,
Because he took the whole crowd to go get cookies and milk.
yes, and I finally did go, and I said, only if I get to ride in the front with you. So I did. But
That's a great move.
the only thing I can say is it's really hard to describe being with Andy Kaufman because you don't ever know when he's serious. And then sometimes he would make me almost cry when he would say something like, not smiling, with a serious attitude, like, I always wanted to do this. Kimmy, taking an audience for milk and cookies has been a dream of mine since I was a little boy. I remember going, holy mackerel, is this real or not?
That's the wonderment of
He
him.
never stopped fucking with people. Never.
I love it. I love that.
And his wife must have been, I have no idea.
Do you think he's still alive?
I like to wish that he is.
Me too. Kimmy,
There's a lot of stuff now that if he did have all that, and if he did need help, I know of a lot of things that could help him now.
yeah.
Rife technology, Tesla technology, scalers, plasma tubes, all this stuff.
Okay.
It's Einstein's spooky theory of relativity.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
You do Last American Virgin. No one knows you on the streets of Hollywood yet. That movie comes out. Are you doing anything before that movie comes out? Or are you still just hanging out, working in that office?
I was dancing. Well, they came back, so we were performing.
Okay. The movie comes out. Do people start recognizing you on the streets?
Uh-huh.
What was that like?
It was mostly Japanese people.
Why Japanese people?
I guess because it was popular there. It wasn't popular here.
Really?
Uh-huh.
In Corpus Christi, Texas, it was. On my TV. That's all I know.
You know, I heard that it was popular in Florida
Florida.
and parts of Texas. So
Really? Did you really hear that?
I really did.
Okay. Because it was, I thought everyone knew about that movie.
No, not everybody. But now it's like a classic something. Teen exploitation film.
Okay. So people start recognizing you. Are you saying, hey, I wanted more of this? How do I get more of this? Who's sending you out now?
The second AD or the first AD, one of the ADs on that took me to meet Bobby Houston, who directed Bad Manners, and he had me audition and didn't like me, and Eric was the name of the AD who took me there. Said, no, don't have her audition that way. Just have her talk to you. Have her tell the story her way. So that was. My nose itches. Can I scratch it?
Yeah, mine does too. Go ahead.
Okay. So
It's weird that we both had nose itches.
Yeah, we just, maybe that means someone's talking about us.
Yeah, I think so.
So that's what happened. We ended up just talking. I told the story, improvising, but I didn't know that word yet. And then I got that part, and then I did it, and then about 6 months later, the director called me up and said, we need to release this in Europe, but it needs to be more European. And I went, uh-oh.
Okay.
What does that mean, Bobby?
And what does that mean?
We need a nude scene.
Oh boy.
I was like, why don't you ask Karen Black?
Wait, who's Karen Black?
She played the mom and my mother in Bad Manners, and Martin Mull played my father.
Okay, yes, I know what you're talking about. Okay, yeah.
And there's a nude scene. I'm in the shower, and my adopted brother or somebody snaps a Polaroid of me.
Now, did you film it?
Yes, naked.
What was that like?
Scarier than shit.
Well, how many people were on the set? Is it one of those sets where they make everyone leave? How many people are on the set if it's closed?
The other actor was... Actually, I don't remember that the other actor was in there because he was a minor. Just the camera operator.
Okay.
It was handheld. That was it. And he had a walkie to the director.
Okay. All right.
So it was private, so everybody in the universe could see it later.
I don't remember that scene. Not that this sounds creepy, but I got to go back and look. I mean, not that I want to. I'm just saying, you know, in general.
That guy in Texas who reviews stuff, not Rotten Tomatoes, it's somebody else that's very famous.
It's in Texas.
And he's been around since the early 80s. He reviewed the movie and said the best part of the movie was Kimmy Robertson's itty bitty titties.
Okay, all right. So, do you start working after this? Is your name getting out there, or you getting phone calls? You getting offers? What are you doing? What's happening? You auditioning? What's going on?
I wasn't auditioning that much. I did audition again, and I got that. It was called Gladiola Girls with a little House on the Prairie.
Laura Ingalls?
Yes, her. Can't remember.
She's not the president of SAG, or she used to be the president of SAG, is it?
Yeah, I think it's, you know.
I know who you're talking about.
For God's sake, this is a mutual brain fog for a second. Anyway, Stephanie Powers produced it, and she was in it, and I think B. Arthur was in it, and Maureen Stapleton. Anyhow, that was a movie of the week. And then I didn't do anything for many years. I don't know what I did. I honestly have no memory of. I did music videos for friends of mine in bands. I worked for Neil Young. He was my boss.
And I'm sure you've told Eric that, right? Eric
Yes.
Edelstein, because he's a big Neil Young fan.
Yes, he was the official manager of Club Devo.
Wow.
Devo's fan club.
Yeah.
And I worked in the office at Lookout Management, where Elliot Roberts managed Joni Mitchell, Tom Petty, Neil Young, Devo. I was in the room when Billy Gerber brought a videotape of Duran Duran for Elliot Roberts to see, and he went, "No, I'm not managing them."
Wow.
And
Wow.
I looked at him, and I mean, I didn't. What do I'm just a girlfriend, and that was in the 70s, so things were much different back then. But I did give him the eye, and 6 months later he said, "Kimmy, why didn't you tell me to sign Duran Duran?" I said, "Because you said they were a flash in a pan, Elliot."
Okay, Kimmy, tell me about were you busy up until you booked Twin Peaks the very first time? Go ahead.
I did. So then there was 3 years where I did normal jobs. I worked at Capizio. This is 87. Oh, I was dancing all this time.
Okay, all right.
So I was dancing with that company for 10 years until I got Twin Peaks and I got too busy. But so I had 3 jobs: Capizio, dance shoes, Top Hat Limousine. I was the receptionist, dispatcher, Then I worked at Dick Clark Productions. All of
In
these,
Burbank?
so that was 3 years of that. And then I was at Dick Clark Productions, and I was feeling unfulfilled.
Sure.
And I said to my friend Victoria, who was also in these companies with me, dance companies, she said, "Here, I have a quote for you." And she gave me the Goethe quote. It says, "Until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back, always ineffectiveness. But the moment one truly," there's an elementary truth that, anyway, people forget about or something, that the moment one commits oneself, all manner of unforeseen incidents and material assistance comes one's way. Providence moves too. I'm paraphrasing a lot
Sure.
of this, but it says, whatever you can do or dream you can do, begin it. Begin it now. Boldness has magic and genius in it. And I felt every cell in my body realign. And I went, I want to be an actor. I want to act for a living. 10 minutes later, I feel this. And I look up, and this guy named Brad Waisbrand said, "Hi, my name's Brad. I heard that you're an actor, and I'm looking for actors could you come downstairs and maybe do a little audition?" So I did. I came downstairs and did the audition. I said, "You know what, Brad, as much as I'd love to do this, and I can see you are thinking of hiring me," it was a sexy Bond bombshell type thing.
Right.
I know that this is a bit of a stretch, but I know the perfect person for this part. And I called my friend Brenda, and she came right down, and she was perfect. She got the part. So Brad said, "Okay," and I don't remember what he said, but he said, "You need to something, I'm going to make a call." So I went, and the next week I worked on Tracy Ullman show. The next
Sure.
week after that I worked on She's the Sheriff, what's her name, show.
Yeah, the Thigh Master.
Yeah, Thigh Master, wonderful. She's very nice, I like her. And she took me aside at the wrap party and said, "I want to tell you something that Johnny Carson told me many years ago."
Was this before or after when you were on Johnny Carson?
Before I was
Okay,
on
go ahead.
Johnny
Go
Carson.
ahead.
This is my
Obviously,
re-entry
yes,
back
obviously,
into
yes,
the world
yes,
of
okay.
that, into the, yes. She said, "You have star
Suzanne
quality."
Summers.
Thank you. Suzanne Summers said, "You have star quality." And I said, "Johnny Carson told you that?" Because anything Johnny Carson.
Sure,
to me
sure,
is-
sure, sure.
And she said, "Yes, he did." And I said, "Oh my God." She said, "But no, you do have it." And I never told that to anyone before. And she said, "And he told me this 10 years ago." So I went, okay, all right, okay, these are all signs. Then I was fired from Dick Clark Productions. They were so nice about it, but he said, "You know, you always get your work done ahead of time, and but it's not a good example for you to the other workers who, when you're not here for 3 weeks in a row, and I mean, we want you to be successful, and we want you to come. If God forbid things don't work out, you're welcome back anytime." And I said, "Brian, you know what I realized when I was working there?" And he said, "What?" I said, "People only need to work from 9 to 11. All the work gets done.
Right, right.
The rest of the time you're just walking around avoiding your husband
Right.
or your wife. It's ridiculous." And he said, "Yeah, that's kind of true." I said, "Except for you. You
Sure.
actually did work." This all sounds really bad and snotty.
It's not. You're good.
No, but it is true. A lot of it is, you could do it at home.
No, okay, yeah, I agree.
Be with your doggy. So then I got Twin Peaks.
Tell me when you got
Oh.
the. Go ahead.
In that time, in the 80s, I had done something, my friend Brian and I were aliens in a commercial that Stan Dragoti was directing.
Okay.
You remember that
I
name?
don't.
He was a famous director in the 80s. Anyway, he told, we were both in suits, like you couldn't see us, but
Okay.
he kept laughing at stuff that we did, and he told Joanna Ray, "You should hire this girl. she was in my, anyway, so call her in. Joanna called me in for something, and I've been trying to remember the name of it. I'll have to ask her again. But it's one of those sort of, did this really happen shows, like,
Oh, okay,
where
yeah.
they reenact
Yes,
something.
yeah, sure.
But it was one of the beginning ones. It was
Like unsolved mysteries type of thing?
yeah, it was actually
Okay.
a good one, but it
All
wasn't that. It had 3 names. So then I got that job, and then that's how she knew me to bring me in for Twin Peaks. And I never knew that before last August when she and my friend Beth and I went to lunch, and she told me. And then after that, after Joanna Ray left at that lunch, my friend Beth Holden Garland said, I know that you really cherish our friendship, Kimmy. And I said, I do. And she said, but the people, she works at Authentic, all the people at Authentic heard that I was coming to have lunch with you and asked if I had any representation. And I told them that you don't. And I said, well, yeah, I've never really had representation, except for commercials and voiceovers. And she said, well, I told them that, and they were flabbergasted and asked if I would mind asking you if you would consider us representing you. By then I had gotten completely confused.
Okay.
And she said, I know our friendship matters more. And I said, wait, are you breaking up with me?
I know, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Why is
She
she...
said, no, our friendship is the most important thing. I said, are you asking if you could be my representation? Yes!
Okay. All right.
I said, absolutely, but you know, it's not going to be that easy. I'm not going to be, you know, I'm not somebody, I'm not on Game of Thrones, you know that,
Well,
right?
I know, but I mean, we all see differently than you're seeing it. I would take, if I'm not a manager one bit, but I would take you on like that.
Well,
I'm just saying, people, you stand out. As I started this whole thing, you stand out. You're uber talented. I mean, you've got the goods.
thank you, Clint, but you are. Anyway,
You
so
booked it?
I did, let me tell you how I got Twin Peaks.
Please.
Joanna has one story, I have another.
Okay.
So she called me in. My story is the reason why she called me in. Is it was in between Christmas and New Year's, and my friend Brian and Dana Ashbrook and I went out for drinks at the Tiki Tea.
Okay, is that one? That's not still Tiki Tea?
It's still there on Sunset,
Oh,
Silver Lake.
yes. Okay, yes.
So we each ordered a drink, and I ordered a zombie, and I said, let's make a toast. It was the New Year's time when New Year's has a leap year, so there's like 2 New Years.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so Dana says, Brian made his, no, Brian didn't. Yes, he did. I don't remember Brian's toast, but Dana said, I'm tired of working on movies here and there. I want a steady job. I want to get a series, a television series. And I said, that's great. I wish for a television series too.
Were you really wishing for one, or just because you heard them say that, so you're saying it? Okay.
I felt filled with desire.
Okay.
My wish came up from the inside, and I said it, and it was, but not just, I want to get a television series too, but not just any series. I want a series that will change television forever.
Wow.
And we toasted. I don't say those kinds of words, but that's what I said.
Yeah.
6 months later, well, a month later, Dana and I are driving around Seattle, working on Twin Peaks. Both of us, the same show.
That's crazy.
6 months later, I pick up a magazine, Connoisseur magazine, and it's got a picture of David Lynch on it, and it says, Twin Peaks, the series that will change television forever.
Look at that.
That's
I dig
This is how
that.
life is supposed
Yeah,
to work.
yeah.
It is. This is how we're supposed to. Not just me, not just you. Everybody's supposed to have this kind of magic, or
Faith activates.
it's just supposed to be
Yes,
like that.
yes.
And it's not magic, it's life. It's how it's supposed to work.
That's right. Kimmy, how many seasons did you do at Twin Peaks?
3 in all.
3 in all. After 3 years wraps, she has a drinking problem.
It exploded in my mouth, all bubbly.
Okay, after 3 years, what happens after that?
Well, first we did 2 seasons, and then we did the 3rd one a couple of years ago.
Well, I know about that, but I guess what I'm trying to get to, so you do 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm getting to that. I'm saying all of that because a few years ago, I would almost say 10 years ago, and right now it's 2019, am I correct?
2009, yes.
Around 2009, I'm talking to you at an audition, and you go, Clint, I'm thinking about quitting the business, moving to Australia to open up a pie. You remember this? A pie store, a pie whatever it's called.
Yes.
A pie what? A bakery, a pie.
Bakery, and it wasn't Australia by then. It was Bass Lake, California.
That's right.
Yes.
That's exactly how I remember it. And I'm like, my mind was blown because I'm like, wait a second. This is a successful, in my eyes, and to a lot of people's eyes, I'm like, this is me thinking, wait, this girl wants to quit this, what she's achieved, she wants to quit it because she's having a slow period in her life. Was it slow? What was it? What made you think to quit?
Wasn't the slowness, because if you're gonna quit acting because of a slow period, you're a dumbass.
That's exactly right. You're absolutely right. So what was,
like, I want to be an actor, but I don't want to have to audition. It would be the same thing.
Okay.
I bought a cabin up in the mountains.
That's
by
right.
a lake, and I wanted to be there, and I wanted to do something where I get to talk to people early in the morning and make them happy, so they go out and have a happy day, and when I'm done at like 1 or 2, and go take a nap.
That sounds like
and
a good
then go
life
for
right
a
now.
hike. And
Yeah.
Hi. That kind of stuff. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my mind was blown that this was coming from you. So I don't see.
I'm a Sagittarius. That's part of the package.
Really?
You always want to go do something, another adventure.
Then shortly after you tell me that, I'm thinking, all right, well, I guess she's leaving. I don't know why, but she's leaving. Shortly after that, I start seeing you popping up on TV again. What was the change? Why did you not do it, and what started happening? Why did you get busy? And not that you were never not busy, but I saw a change in your career.
I know what happened.
Tell me.
I took my pension.
You took your pension. What, at 40?
57. I'm 65
There's
now.
no way, Kimmy. I'm not buying that for a second. But go ahead.
Thank you. Anyway, when I was at the SAG pension office,
What?
I didn't pay my premium.
You'll
My
be all
SAG
right.
insurance
You'll be all
premium.
right. If you don't have to pick up any medication, you're okay. Just pay it when you get home.
I forgot.
I forget mine all the time.
I do it like 6
quarterly,
months. No, I usually do the whole year, so I don't have to do this kind of
excuse
thing.
me. Yeah.
There's things I have to do like that, Clint, or I will not. I'm like, woo, everything's great. Oh, what's that? Oh, a bill.
Right.
Anyway, and I didn't used to be like that.
Okay.
That changed around 38, 39, or 40. For some reason, I was like, anyway, moving on. That's not even interesting. Because I turned 65 next month, my premium is different.
Okay.
So I only paid up until this the last quarter.
Right, up. It was up. So you should pay
So
on
it's a
October
different-
1st.
Yeah, I
Gotcha.
should have paid it, whatever the
You'll be
amount
fine.
is.
Just pay when you get home.
And it's a lot less, by the way. You have that to look forward to.
I am looking forward to that.
What was I saying? Oh, I was in the pension office there applying for my pension, and the guy looked at me and he said, you know, you're going to be working within 6 months. I said, I am? He said, yes, almost everyone that takes their pension ends up getting a job within 6 months, and then they just keep working from then on.
Why is that?
It's just
Because
the
you're
rules.
because you're not worried about money as much because you have money coming in, so that fear is gone.
Probably the fear that you're exuding that squelches any and all opportunities that the universe is sending you is gone.
Okay. So I'm glad you didn't quit. You got busy, and then all of a sudden, out of the clear blue, you get a phone call. Hey,
Ah,
Twin Peaks is coming back, right?
oh my God. So, my mother at that time was at my house, living with me, mostly in bed. She was getting ready to pass away,
Okay.
and she was 92 before you get upset. Anyway, still, the point is, things weren't the happiest at that moment. So, because I would get up early every morning to help her and do stuff, and I would take naps,
Sure.
and because I have to get my sleep.
Sure.
I'm
Naps.
just
Nothing
weird
wrong with
that
naps.
way. So I'm taking a nap, and the phone rings, and I answer it. I see it says David Lynch.
It says David Lynch on there
Yes.
because you have it programmed on your phone because
Yes.
you've talked to him before. Okay. Okay.
And I go, hello? And he goes, Sabrina, Kimmy, this is Sabrina. That's his executive producer, Sabrina Sutherland.
Okay.
And I went, hi, Sabrina. How are you? And she said, I'm good. I said, our birthdays are coming up. We have the same birthday. And she said, well, yes, but right now...
Do you have any idea where this is going? Okay. Okay.
What had happened about 3 years before that, I was driving along, someone called me and said, hey, I heard they're bringing Twin Peaks back. Do you know anything about it? And I went, no. And he said, well, you hang out with Jen Lynch all the time. Did she say anything to you? And I said, no. And he said, yeah, I read something that's coming back. So I called up Jen Lynch and pulled over because I was starting to shake.
Sure.
And I said, oh my God, so-and-so told you blah, 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 blah. And then I said, and then he said it's going to be on the CW. And somebody named Skipper is going to play Lucy. She's going to be 16. And that's the only thing I've ever done that I actually feel like it was something cool. And now Skipper's going to ruin it for me. And I was sobbing. She goes, Kimmy, Skipper's, nobody is going to be playing Lucy except Lucy, ever. And Dad hasn't told me there's nothing I would know.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
Dad would never this is his favorite thing on earth. And he would never let anybody do it but him. And I said, okay, you promise? She said, I promise. I said, because I was having a panic attack.
I could see that. I could see. I would be doing the exact same thing. The exact same thing.
Like that. It was exactly like the time I was out to dinner with my boyfriend, and he was flirting with the 16-year-old that was sitting next to us. Felt the same.
Wow. Okay.
Where the bottom falls out.
Yeah.
And the trust is gone.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it changes you.
Yeah.
So I was getting to that place where I was about to be changed. So I had to call her on the phone, which you don't do in Los Angeles.
No, you don't. But
call
some.
people
But
on
but
the phone.
but sometimes you have to.
It was an emergency.
Yeah. That was 3 years before. He
The
calls
phone
you.
call. So
Okay, so-
Sabrina Sutherland says, I have David Lynch on the line. Would you have a minute to talk to him? Would that
Is she
week,
really asking that question? Okay, go ahead.
I said, yes, Sabrina. And so he goes, Lucy, Gordon Cole here. We're getting the show back together.
Are you like freaking out when he's telling you this?
I'm lying in bed looking at the ceiling, freaking out.
Yeah.
And so he starts talking about what he wants to do and when he wants to do it, and if I'm free and if I'm willing to participate, come and play some more. And then he's saying I'm in control. We're not going to do anything that I don't want to do. We're not going to do anything that's going to make you feel uncomfortable. We're just getting the gang back together and, excuse me, we're going to have some fun.
Awesome.
So at that point, I look up and I see the bottom of the box springs. I had somehow during this conversation slipped off the bed, gone onto the floor, and scooted all the way under the bed.
And you've never done that before?
No!
Okay.
No! I mean, the bed was like this high off the ground, and I had an ottoman so my dog and my cat could leap up onto it. It was Brian's bed. He didn't have a place to put it. So I said, I'll store it for you and use it. A nice sleigh bed. And Marla Freeze told me I needed to sleep on a wood bed. So it was wood. So there I am under in the middle of the bed, under the bed, completely, all the way, my feet and everything.
A surreal moment, a very surreal moment.
Very surreal. And I ran downstairs and I told my mother, Mom, David Lynch just called. Because she kept saying, when are they going to bring that back? They need to bring that back. Now is the time.
Moms know, right?
Well, she was so close to the other side.
Yeah.
So she got the biggest smile.
Awesome.
The hugest smile. Of course, she had red lipstick on. In that time that my mother was at the house, I learned something that I had wondered my whole life. I've collected marbles and like crystal balls, round things. I would get a feeling and look down and there'd be a marble. My whole childhood I wanted a four-leaf clover. I was in Seattle in '76 at a park and I hear, look down. So I look down, between my feet is a four-leaf clover and I still have it. I put it between some glass. But so I wondered what my obsession with these round things are, like orbs.
Yeah.
And after my mother moved in, I started early in the morning seeing orbs coming into my room, traveling along the ceiling, round like balloons. Big ones this big, little ones, medium ones. The biggest one, I had all these colors, and the other ones had colors, but the biggest one had lots of colors. And I felt my Uncle Nick. I smelled cigars, sweat, metal, because he was printing. He made letters, a printing press. I grew up working a printing press.
All right.
In McKees Rocks, Pennsylvania. But, so, and then I'd come downstairs and my mom would be in the living room and I'd see her going,
okay. All
like
right, you're
she
right.
was pushing balloons away. So I Googled it. I Googled balloon orb things on my ceiling, something like that. It said it was souls. That's what souls look like.
So what souls are coming into your place?
All my mom's relatives, the people that she goes through many lives with,
Okay.
coming together.
This was happening at the latter days of your mom.
Yes.
When did your mom pass?
January 2nd.
Of what year?
It'll be 4 years this coming January.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
But she's fine now.
I know she is. I'm just saying in general, because you're supposed to say that when somebody says her parent
Okay,
died.
thank you very much. Marla told me, my mother told her, I was crazy, but I'm not now.
Who said that?
Marla Fries.
Says that she's crazy or you're crazy, but you're not now.
My mother was talking to Marla Fries.
I
She
gotcha.
talks to dead people.
I got you.
You know, she did all that remote viewing for the FBI and stuff.
Really?
Anyway, so she talks to dead people, and every year I go to Marla's house and get my chakras cleaned. And when I got there, she said, your mother's here. First thing, she didn't even know my mother passed away. I didn't put it on Facebook.
Okay.
I think that's ridiculous when people do that, but moving on. So she said your mother said that she was crazy when she was in her body, but she's not now.
I got you now. Okay. I got you.
Marla also said there's a very intense energy attached to you right now. Who's saying his name is Harry? And I went, I don't know. She said he's very obnoxious and very insistent on talking to you. So when I left, Marla said, oh, by the way, that energy is gone. It's no longer attached to you. I said, thank you. I get home, I walk in the door, and I went, oh my God, that's Harry. My best friend's husband who passed away a few months before.
Oh, wow.
And I had felt him. In the night, I'd go, Harry, I'm sleeping. Leave me alone.
What do you think Harry wanted with you?
He wanted, okay, so that made me realize what was happening was Harry wanted something. Because
Okay.
he was like this.
Right.
That's the kind of person he was and is after passing away. I called his wife Susan and had a conversation and told her, Harry says, walk forward, turn left, go up the stairs. I didn't know where she was in her house, but I was telling her what Harry was telling me.
Okay.
And it was in order to find a box of letters that he wanted her to have. That was hidden up in the closet.
Are you serious? So she did not know about this until you told her that info. That's crazy.
That's life.
That's life. It's crazy in a good way, not crazy bad way. But that's awesome.
Yeah, I had, at that time, I had not learned to close my chakras.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of dead people coming to talk to me.
Okay. Are they open or closed right now?
Closed.
When's the last time they've been open?
I open them whenever I go to the mountains or the ocean or when I'm at home
Okay.
or walking.
Kimmy, I'm going to ask you a couple of fast questions.
Okay,
Best time in Hollywood?
this time in Hollywood. I'm going to have to say the 70s. There was an evening when I went to the Rainbow.
Okay, on Sunset?
Yes, and it happened to be a night when all of the rock and roll people that I liked were there, and that to me was extraordinarily fun. Just to sit and have a cocktail and watch them.
Who are some of the names that you remember?
Okay, Greg Allman.
Wow.
Sammy Hagar. What's his name? Who stopped drinking?
Oh, that guy.
You know, David Lee Roth left and he came and took over.
Oh, wait, you're not the guy who quit drinking. David Lee Roth left, but Sammy Hagar.
Oh, Sammy Hagar.
You
That
said
is
it.
him.
You
Okay.
said, you said it.
Sammy
That's what threw me.
Hagar. But it was like the Birds people were there. Neil wasn't there. Stevie Winwood was there.
Really? I love Stevie Winwood.
Was there.
Okay, wow, okay, cool.
And there was a bunch of people with really black hair. And I don't know who they were, but they were all famous musicians.
Worst time in Hollywood for you?
Worst time.
And I'm talking about with your profession as an actor. Worst time.
Well, you know how they have those people on sets that try and get you to not have money, like they make you sign out earlier than. Okay, so I was doing a movie with.
It's like the second AD telling you to sign
Yeah.
out. Okay. Why don't you go ahead and sign out now?
Yeah.
Go ahead and sign. Yeah. But I haven't even taken my wardrobe off yet.
I still have another scene to
Yeah.
shoot.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. But
And it's Friday.
Right,
And
yeah.
it's midnight.
yeah. Yeah.
And we're going to be shooting another 4 hours.
Right. But we really need to save some money on. Okay.
So on you in particular.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it wasn't that, but it was close. It was a movie that had a very long name, and it wasn't Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. It wasn't Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. It wasn't My Stepmother is an Alien, but it was had a long
By the way,
name.
all great films that you just mentioned that you're in.
So I had a call back for Tropicana orange juice,
Okay.
which, by the way, helped me to buy a car and a house.
Do you remember the casting director?
It was Michael Lean.
Okay. Go ahead.
And by the way, when I was at the callback, I had to do this with a straw to try to get it
Yeah.
in an orange, and they were ordering pizza. So I left going, well, I guess they didn't like me, and I got them.
Sure.
So, yeah, actors are dumb
Very.
when they start doing other people's jobs
Yeah, exactly.
instead of just their own. So I had this call back, and it was like at 5 or 5:30, and it was up. I was down in Wilshire, whatever this area is called, and so I was standing around.
Miracle Mile?
Yes, and I knew I was done, and they said you can change out of the wardrobe, so I did. So I'm still standing around, and the AD came up and said, the second AD said, "You're excused. You're wrapped. Let's hear Kimmy Robertson rap. Thank you very much," which is what they do on a set when you're wrapped. Everyone claps.
That is true. That is true.
So I left. No, first I said, "Well, what? Let me sign out." And he said, "Oh, yeah. Hold on a second." And then he came back and he said, "No, you don't need to sign out. We did that for you." And I went,
no.
"No, I need to sign out." And he said, "No, actually," and he made up something that in the moment I was like, you know how sometimes, well, you're not blonde really, so you might not get into this blonde minute where you get played and you don't, why would you expect that to be happening there? So
Especially in this business that you love so much, you're not
Yeah.
thinking that that's what's really happening.
So this happened, and I get a call from SAG, and they're going to penalize me, and they're also not going to pay me for the work that I did.
Wow.
And I said, I explained the whole situation, and the SAG person was extraordinarily rude, shaming and talking down to me.
I don't like that.
No, they can get like that sometimes. I've noticed. Yeah, so that was the worst one. It felt really icky.
Yeah. All right, Kimmy, what do you want to achieve in Hollywood now? What's the thing that you, at 64 years young, which I'm not buying, we got to wait till this thing goes by because it's really loud.
Oh, it has a lovely little fall decoration on it with the
Yeah,
dirty
it's nice.
dishes.
Okay, go ahead. So, what do you want to achieve in Hollywood?
What I really, really want is to help enlighten or help inform or help educate people without like giving a class. I mean, what am I going to talk about? I want the universe to talk through me somehow.
Okay, all right.
When I'm talking or doing a part, I want secret information to come through me and out into the world. That's so vague.
No, it's
weird,
not.
but that's
Kimmy,
actually
I'm
a
going to tell
thing.
you how to do that. Just keep being the bright light that you are, because your bright light is shining in people's darkness and you're showing them a way.
man.
because you are a positive.
So I'm already doing my
You're
wish.
already doing your wish by you just being you.
Wow. I'm gonna put my sunglasses
Kimmy,
on so I don't cry.
look at that. Now, we're gonna wind up here.
Okay.
What, if any piece of advice that's helped you get through this business that you learned along the way?
Don't do the casting director's job. Don't do the producer director's
What does that
writer's
mean?
job.
What does that mean? Don't do the casting director's job. What does that mean?
Don't look at the description of the character and say, that's not me.
Okay.
I'm not right
okay.
for this part.
Okay, that's powerful. Okay.
You have no idea what they're thinking.
You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right.
Just do your job.
Okay.
Don't leave.
Don't leave.
Do your job and don't leave. Don't leave town.
You're absolutely right. I thought you meant like don't leave the set.
No, don't
Because
leave
you
the-
learned it from that one
That
time.
too. Don't leave the town. Like, don't give up and move because your big job is coming.
Amen, sister.
Next week.
All right, Kimmy, one last thing. Anything else we need to know about you before we go to the end here?
No.
Kimmy, will you do me one last favor?
Uh-huh.
Will you tell everybody out there bye?
Bye.